son of a bitch. Fucking Streamlabs. No good, stupid piece of crap Streamlabs. Oh, wait, we're live. Hi, everybody. Yeah, hi, everybody. But seriously, fuck Streamlabs. I was working. Yeah, hold on. Let me just put the music I was trying to get in tune with. So Streamlabs fucked me over. Just like all the actors who starred in this movie got fucked over. I don't know who thought was going to have a shining career. But
they knew what they were doing.
They knew what they were doing. So you know what?
I mean, I don't know if I can feel bad for anybody that signed on to a script called Amityville Killer Rabbits.
Oh, God. Amityville Killer Rabbits in some markets, Night of the Killer Rabbits in other markets. What was another one that fucking we went under? Flesh-eating rabbits? Flesh-eating boner rabbits?
Like lagomorph demons, I think I've heard that's what it's called in Australia.
Who the hell calls it lagomorph demons? What the hell? Fucking Australian people?
Well, lagomorphs is the scientific name for rabbits, hares, and pikas. So that's why. So there's a certain intellectual quality to it, but the intellectual quality, the name will not save the work. That is one thing that I've learned. Something can have a great name, doesn't change the quality of it.
No. So, everybody, let's get started here. Hi, everybody. I'm Pumpkin Jack. Welcome to today's episode of the Ghastly Hallows podcast. Today, I'm accompanied with my two co-hosts over here.
Nose wiggling red.
And Tortoise Bolt.
You... fucking robots and their fucking logic. I never understand it.
Hey, it's allergy season. I'm running at like very minimum capacity right now.
You're always running at minimum capacity. You're like never charge your battery or whatever the fuck it is that keeps you awake out here. Every other time I'm running a battery. I'm a robot. I don't have to pay for charging. I just go park at some fucking subway station thing out here in New York and I can charge my battery there. And I'm not going to get mugged or assaulted because I'm a robot, but I still don't do it. Fucking every 2 fucking times. Yeah. Section 68, go fuck yourself, Streamlabs. Anyway, sorry. This movie puts me in a bad mood. I've seen some real bad movies on here. And sometimes I find them funny. Sometimes I love them more, than like I would a regular movie. I'll admit, I've caught myself watching Flesh Eater sometimes when I need a laugh. This Flesh Eater's funny to me. It's a stupid fucking movie made by a guy who should have been making porno. It's fine. It's stupid. It's funny. But then you find movies like this. And then you start to question your life decisions that brought you to this point. Today's film...
I feel like this movie made my life worse.
Yeah, it did. Everyone is now having dumber for having found this fucking movie.
I feel like I will regret having watched this movie for the rest.
As I said... everyone is now dumber for having watched this movie, participated in the filming of this movie, having fucking had that poster, which is the only good thing about it, pop up on goddamn Amazon or Tubi when it was still allowed to be up there, because apparently this movie's like fucking banned, isn't it? Like they filmed it against some kind of rule set or something, and Charles Band got sued, or a lot of people got sued over this movie. I don't know. Fucking mess of a fucking movie. 1 second here. Night of Killer Rabbits / Amityville Rabbit. I'm not even going to even give this the dignity of any of that. Let me just put hashtag Easter. And yeah. All I have to say is I also feel very bad for the fact that some of the stars that are in this piece of shit sunk that low. You're like, what the fuck was Ken Foree doing here? Anybody care to tell me that? Like, why Ken Foree sank that low?
Keenan and Kel was over. He needed a check. Maybe it's not a matter of he's sunk so low. Maybe it's a matter of he just doesn't take himself that seriously.
But he was doing Rob Zombie movies like at least less than 10 years ago. Hell are you doing this piece of shit for? What are you doing here? That's like where my first anger comes from. What are you doing here? You shouldn't be here. You really shouldn't. Bullshit.
The one that really hurts me is Michael Berryman, because I love Michael Berryman. And Michael Berryman, so he's the bald guy in The Hills Have Eyes. He also has a Keenan and Kel connection. Fun fact, because he was in The Headless Knight, the series finale. He was the butler in there. So you've got a meeting of Ken Foree and Michael Berryman, who would later meet again in The Devil's Rejects. But anyway, Michael Berryman, he is a character that has some good moments in this movie, but on the whole, I don't know. If I ever get to meet him, I'm going to have to ask him, what was it that possessed you to take on this role? What is it that possessed you to say yes?
Money.
There's so many better things that you could have said yes to.
Money. And I no longer have any respect for myself and money.
You know, we do have Leonardo DiCaprio as a producer on this movie, so there was some money involved.
That doesn't make me feel any better.
You can throw all the money that you want at a project, and that's not gonna. Money doesn't equal magic.
That doesn't make me feel better. That makes me feel even worse. I don't know why. It just makes me feel even worse. Like that money could have gone somewhere. You could have fed some innocent kids so don't have parents. Could have helped a lot of people out, not have to deal with this shit. Instead, here we are, this money being wasted on these goddamn people in this stupid movie. Oh my god. Okay.
Anyway, okay, so let's tell the good people what we're talking about. We're talking about Amityville Killer Rabbits, which is part of this strange subgenre of Amityville movies, but only Amityville movies that have Amityville in the title.
Yeah.
That have virtually nothing to do with Amityville. As a person from Amityville, I like to remind people of that. From the Amityville, it's a subgenre that feels like a strange kind of appropriation. Like, you don't get to just use the name and not engage with any of the content or the history or try to fit into the same universe as the franchise. It really is kind of just co-opting the impact of the name Amityville. And the thing is, it's so tacked on because it doesn't even take place in New York. It takes place in Michigan. It's Amityville, Michigan.
Is it even in Amityville, Michigan? No, right?
It's in Amityville. It's in Michigan, yeah.
They couldn't at least call it Dearborn.
But here's the thing, though. It was very obviously not filmed in Michigan. It was obviously filmed in L.A. because they're trying to create this sense of winter, but the sun is clearly out. Mm-hmm. It's clearly bright out. It's clearly summer in L.A., but they're still wearing winter coats.
And this is where I'm going to sound like a snob, right? Because I hear this all the time. Well, John Carpenter filmed Halloween in California, and I didn't hear any of you complaining then. Man, I'm a snob. You know what? He worked real hard to make California look like fucking Illinois. These people did not work. You know, there's a moment, if you look closely, right? When he's jumping on top of the fucking Arby's, you can actually see the Anaheim, California stadium in the back where the Mighty Ducks are from. You can actually see that far to the back with the fucking palm trees and everything, but it's supposed to be in Dearborn, Michigan. Michigan, where the hell? Yeah,
okay,
stupid movie.
Okay, so we've got a movie that has a name from New York that takes place in Michigan that was filmed in California. Yes, there's no rhyme or reason to this, but let's go into the plot a little bit.
There's a plot?
There is something of a plot.
Something that resembles the idea, possibility, formations of a possible plot, but it wasn't really a plot. That makes any sense.
Okay.
No, but go on.
So, I'll try to do a basic rundown of the setup, and you can help me out as you see fit. So, in Amityville, Michigan, there's this school teacher named Gloria, and she buys a pet rabbit for her classroom. And there's this one kid in the school, it's like a middle school, and he's this 7th grade kid named Roger. He's a real science nerd, and so he steals the rabbit for some sort of animal test. And this is...
I thought it was going to be Resident Evil cool, and it was stupid.
Genuinely strains it strains how this made it past any sort of quality control standards for scripts. He wants to test an animal for his promising cure for cooties. He's in 7th grade. I'm not sure why he's still talking about cooties, but anyway.
Poorly written character. That's why.
It was obviously written by a person who knows people that has kids but doesn't have kids himself, because he thinks that cooties are still a thing in 7th grade. Anyway, but the rabbit does not react as expected. The horns of a ram, and bursts out of it, and then this rabbit starts biting other rabbits in different pet stores and starts biting people, and you have a mythology where two different kinds of monsters, and then eventually Gloria and this zombie rabbit pandemic are holding up, and they've barricaded the Arby's. I don't know why an Arby's, if it's just like a strange product placement or whatever, but at that point it just kind of turns into a run-of-the-mill zombie movie, like a siege movie. And the good thing about, I make this comment whenever we do a zombie movie, but the good thing about being in a zombie pandemic in the good old US of A is you know that someone has a gun. And boy, do they have guns. They have more guns than your typical zombie movie even does. So
that's where the budget probably went after they fucking killed off Eric Roberts and what's his name, like 2 seconds in, the Gary Busey. Guarantee you that's where their budget went.
Let's go into the cast a little bit.
Gary Busey, crackhead number 1. Just let that think it for a moment.
Crackhead number fucking 1. Name. Crackhead number 1. Gary Busey, the ginger dead man. Gary Busey, the uncle in fucking Silver Bullet. He is now crackhead number 1. And the scene he went out to was like a Family Guy knockoff scene. They didn't write that. Like, how you doing today, crackhead? Doing great. And the fucking rabbit jumps out from the mirror and kills him. Like, can't you get sued for that? Like, isn't that like straight up you're lifting a scene from a cartoon and putting it in your own movie and trying to be creative when you do it? That's like plagiarism, isn't it? Like plagiarism 101? Isn't that plagiarism 101?
It should be, quote unquote, but they didn't get sued, so I'm pretty sure either A, no one was paying attention, or B, they somehow had a good enough lawyer. Or C, they had Saul Goodman. Using one of those three.
You mean a criminal lawyer, not a criminal lawyer?
A criminal
it gets the job done. Yeah, it gets the job done. Okay.
Jesus Christ. You know,
number 1.
Yeah, there's like scenes in this movie too that reminded me of Flesh Eater. Like you go back to Red talking about the scene that the rabbit crawls up to the guy's ass and bites him while they're having sex in the back counter. I'm like, what was the point of that? Was there a need for that? That scene went on for like 5 minutes, kind of like the fucking scene in Flesh Eater. You know, like it's not necessary. It's not necessary, people. Stupid.
Plot irrelevant sex.
It's like, damn it, we hired that hooker and we're gonna use her. That's what that felt like.
Yeah. And then you know what happens? He doesn't stop. The rabbit is clamped on his ass while he's going at it, and he turns into a rabbit. He turns into the zombie rabbit while they're still having sex, and I guess somehow this is also sexually transmitted. She turns into a rabbit, and then they start biting each other while they're having sex.
Yeah,
it's just like the craziest thing you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah, it wasn't even like funny, weird, or interesting, weird. It was like, what the fuck? Like the eyes roll back. Like, okay. I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, my wife's going to walk in right now as this is on and assume I'm watching some kind of weird fetish porn.
Would you be wrong? Would you be wrong?
Yes, she would. Don't even slap me with that. I am freaky furry. I guarantee you the guy who wrote this crap was a furry. $10, he was a furry. What do you want to bet?
I'll bet he is. I'll bet he is. Yeah.
Bastard. Make me waste 2 hours. Like, how long was this movie? It wasn't 2 hours, right? It's like, what, 90 minutes or something like that?
It's horror movie length. It's an hour and a half.
90 minutes. Yeah, 90 minutes. That's what the credits and everything. This movie didn't really even have credits, right? It was just like flash and then boom, done. There was like, I remember like you start the title. It doesn't even do like a cool little spin into the camera. It just goes. That's how you know they didn't pay for anything.
Yeah, it's like a PowerPoint animation.
Animation is being nice. This is just like clack, clack, that's it. Stupid.
All films are animated, Jack. Technically.
Did he just say that? Did he not learn from last week when he decided to piss off the community of gamers? Mm-hmm. Where's that apology, by the way?
Yeah, anyways.
Oh, right. I have to do my written apology.
Yeah. They're not even tuned in this time. That's how pissed off they are. Normally, they're at least by now I would have heard a stupid comment from just a viewer, but I didn't even hear that this time. Why? Because we pissed off the gamer contingent last time.
He can't hold you two accountable for my bad views.
It's like everybody holding me accountable whenever I call Jennifer Aniston a horrible herpes cankerous whore. At the end of the day, those fans aren't coming back here because I'm here. That's it. That's how it goes.
Now, do you think Jennifer Aniston is above this movie?
No.
Good question.
She shouldn't be. Unfortunately, Adam Sandler still has a thing for her. But I'm sorry. It's just... I'm sitting here looking at this movie, and I'm like, you tried to have moments. That's the part that pisses me off. They tried to have a moment. Like that time where, like, what was it, Bill Moseley? He was like deputy. They even tried to give them names and try to be cool. I read some of the credits. What was it? They killed the kid, Roger, right? His Roger West. Like he's the fucking reanimator. No, you're not. You suck. They called Christy Swanson Gloria Carpenter. Like, wait, oh, okay. Oh, look. All the last names are horror legends. Landis, Haig. Ooh. But then they're kind of racist, too, because they didn't give Ken Foree a fucking name. Just call him Arby's manager. That's it. They didn't give Ken Foree a name. He's just Arby's manager. That's why I'm mad. Like, why are you here?
Eric Roberts. Yeah, you got called local drunk.
Yeah, you got called
at least,
local
like,
drunk.
Arby's manager is a job.
Yeah, he's like, wait a minute. Why are you Arby's manager? All right, fine, whatever. He's just Arby's manager. I'm sorry, Ken Foree. You have fallen from grace so bad. But whatever. It's fine. It's fine, Ken Foree. It's fine. I still love you. I still like your sequences in Dawn of the Dead. Both of them.
You're still our guy.
Still my guy. But, oh boy, was that bad.
It's sad.
That's sad.
It's sad.
He didn't even die in a cool way. How the hell did this guy die again? I remember I wrote the note down.
Did he trip or something? And then
no. He died in the cheap. So they tried to do a kind of homage to Dawn of the Dead, right? This is where I think like another chunk of their budget went. They had the GON helicopter. Ken Foree, the manager, goes through the roof to try to escape the rabbit horde. He clamps on. The helicopter lifts off. When it lifts off, you can now see it's a remote toy helicopter lifting off of a fucking model with a white Ken doll attached to the bottom of the fucking helicopter with these cotton balls attached to the leg, and then the helicopter crashes, and then they superimpose a shitty explosion animation over the thing falling, and that's supposed to be the death of the Arby's manager. What I think happened there is Ken Foree got told he was going to die. He turned around and said, I'm not getting paid enough for this. Give me an extra $10K. When he didn't give him the $10K and told him to go fuck himself, he probably just walked up the ladder and jumped off the roof and killed himself. So he wouldn't have to be in the rest of this movie. This was a terrible...
This movie killed Ken Foree, who is not dead.
No, it was
still killed him.
It was a white Ken doll.
No. Yeah, that's my favorite thing about it. Is like you have a close-up cut of Ken Foree who's supposed to be with the helicopter, and then you have another cut with a white Ken doll. That's and I'm like, is that supposed to be him? Like, is that what?
It wasn't even ironically funny. It was.
No.
I'm laughing now, ironically.
That's the thing. You could have fixed this whole thing if you just decided to make it a comedy.
Yeah. Like, I would have bought it as a comedy. I think a comedy would have been great. No, we're going to try and make it ironically a good movie when Zombievers exists. So how the hell does this make sense? When Zombievers exist, they did this already. And they did it better. I'm at about a 10. Myself down. Christy Swanson is an anti-vaxxer. She deserves to be in movies like this. We're good. We're good. We're good. Okay.
At some point, don't we draw the line at like how much people should suffer in their work?
No.
I tried.
No. If Italians can go around filming movies where people have sex in the woods and that's what the director told them to do and it's a legend movie now, then no, the limit died back in the 70s. There's no limit no more.
You know, in any movie about rabbits, there's going to be a lot of sex.
Yeah. Like the one with the giant killer rabbits back in the 90s.
I was surprised, but I blame myself.
Yeah, I blame you too.
Yeah.
You said, "Yeah, I go to Amityville," and I found you in this shit.
Watching this movie.
Oh man, I thought I couldn't find a worse movie than fucking Flesh Eater, right? Like I was like, all right, that's gonna be a hard one to top.
I still Axum.
But you know what? I forgive Axum because it was like $10K. That's it.
And the director really has some nerve. So he's going around and he's trying to talk about how this is one of those movies that taps into the fears of our time, our collective anxieties. He's using all these like really academic terms to describe, what he's doing. He's like, post-COVID, now we have a greater sense of the immediacy not only of our individual mortality, but the mortality of our civilization. And I'm just like, dude, you are real. This is like the most elaborate post hoc explanation for your big mistake I've ever heard. Mm-hmm. You weren't thinking of any of this. You probably just you probably just like hired someone to write all of this. And it's just like it irks me when directors do that. When directors talk about what their strategy was the whole time and just like how intellectual it all is, and they're just sort of trying to. The thing that gets me about it is that they're trying to say, if you don't like the movie, you don't get it. You don't understand what I'm doing. That's why you don't like the movie. Because you're not smart enough to like the movie.
Yeah, I'm getting that pissed off.
I want to hear him go on like Terry Gross, like a fresh air to talk about this. Or like the Actors Studio.
Oh, I want to hear that too. I want to see. Is John Lipton still alive?
I don't know if they do the Actors Studio anymore, but
they were still doing it up until a couple years ago. I know. Yeah, my wife, when we started dating, she almost got me into a session in the Actors Studio. So I want to know, is John Lipton still alive? If he is, I want to see this guy go on John Lipton. John Lipton can like ironically tear his ass apart. That's a dumbass walking around right there saying those things. I respected it. Actually, I didn't respect it when Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan said that, right? About Interstellar? I don't know if you knew that.
Oh.
Christopher Nolan said, if you didn't understand Interstellar, I had to, just so you know, I had to water it down so that you could understand it more. I couldn't water it down any further. I'm like, sir, you have just assaulted my honor. And I demand you. I want a duel. You lousy son of a bitch. That was true. I'm not kidding. He said that shit.
I will do my best not to pass judgment on Mr. Nolan, but that is a thing to say. That certainly is a thing to say. Yes.
I'm sorry.
It's also like this unfalsifiable thing because it's like if you. It makes the idea that the movie is good an unfalsifiable statement because if you get it, then you like it. If you don't get it, then you don't like it. Or if you don't like it, then you don't get it. It's like this circular thing where it's like there's no way that you can get it and not like it.
That is the most 2016 hipster bullshit thing I have heard in the longest time. Mute myself? No. You guys hear me? I just moved the mic a little closer so I could be.
No,
yeah, we can hear you.
I heard you. I heard you in all of your wisdom and profanity.
Yes, good. That's what they used to say back in the day. If you don't get it, you just don't. You don't like it. You just don't get it. Fuck you. I get it, and your concepts suck. Go back to Disney and suck on Wakanda ass, you pretty fucking. All right. That's what they told me when I didn't like MCU movies back in the day. You don't get it. Fuck you.
It's like this absolute certainty in your opinions. It's when you assume that if someone doesn't agree with you, then they don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's treating your opinions as facts.
Boy. Okay. So, you know who I really felt bad for here? We kind of start getting into the end game with this piece of crap. Why was Brian Murray the mayor? Didn't he do all the voiceovers of our childhood, and he gets devoured by a bunch of fucking rabbits? He was in 2 seconds. I'm gonna hear to announce his Arby's, and then he gets destroyed.
Yeah, he's the guy. I know him from 3 things. He's the mayor in Groundhog Day, so they're kind of rehashing that, and it's honestly maybe kind of a clever nod because Groundhog Rabbit. He's the mayor in Groundhog Day. He's Clark Griswold's boss in Christmas Vacation, and he is Robert Singer in The French Mistake, that heavily meta episode of Supernatural.
So it's
he's the guy who talks like this. He has a very mayor voice, a very middle American mayor voice.
Yeah, he always talked like this. He was even in Toy Story, if I can't remember correctly. Like that fucking guy.
Yeah, I can't even do the voice. It's just such a singular voice.
I used to be able to do it when I was a kid. What?
Don't run Toy Story, please. It's already ruined.
This guy took a piss on the guy who did this movie took a piss on this movie was everybody who was a somebody in the 80s, please show up. Good, you're here. Here's some crack, here's some beer, and some heroin. Get in front of the camera because I was popular in the 80s when the video store was still a thing. But Amazon and Netflix killed me, so I'm now making movies like this because I suck. Because I also did Corona Zombies back in 2020, so I can go ahead and do these kinds of terrible movies. Kendra and Tyler Rescue the Tiger King and Attack of the Killer Rabbits. God, I miss when Full Moon was good. You guys just never seen Full Moon movies before, right? Back in the day, they were actually good. They had good vampire movies, Puppet Master, Demonic Toys. They used to have these other awesome horror movies when I was a kid. They were pushing the limit and the boundaries with special effects straight to video. And then now they've just been reduced to what was left over of softcore porn from the 2000s. That's what they've been resorted to. Eric Roberts is local drunk one. He didn't even get a name either. He gets killed under a poster of his sister's movie. The irony of that.
That feels like a personal jab. Is we wanted this person, but we got you instead. So we're gonna make sure that everyone knows this in the most subtle way possible.
You know what's fucked up? They hate each other in real life. Eric Roberts and Julia Roberts. They have really relationship. Ooh. So then this guy must have really needed the money to agree to get killed underneath a poster of Pretty Woman, a movie that hasn't been relevant for almost 30 years now. How long? Oh, how old is Pretty Woman? 30, 40 years now?
Let's see here. Pretty Woman, you said, right?
Yeah, Pretty Woman.
1990.
36 years?
It's as old as me, yes.
30? Oh, my. Oh.
Hey, thanks.
Where does the time go? I don't know. Hi, H-Center.
Hello.
Stupid fucking movie. So, the worst part about it was he gets killed by a bunch of hookers.
I can't help but love the Michael Berryman character. Michael Berryman as the sheriff. He's like the Rock of the movie for a little bit. He's the one that's keeping everyone level-headed. He's the one that's not losing his head, at least until the end.
Yeah, till the end.
Yes. Yeah.
Like you kind of feel for him a little bit because he's the only one who's trying. And then even I lost my respect for him in that final. What was up with that final shot?
Okay, so we basically have the end of the siege, and it seems as though they've really gotten all the rabbits, and there's a moment of hope. They've escaped from the Arby's, and there's that scene where they're running down that really kind of like off-highway middle American road where it's Arby's and KFC and McDonald's. It's just like this really it's just kind of like this tour of one of those typical off-highway middle American roads. But they're running down there, and they they're about to go over this bridge. And it just kind of looks like the movie's going to end there. But then Michael Berryman turns around towards the camera and bares buck teeth, which is not how people have been turning into rabbits up until that point, right? Like, because what would happen is like they would grow the ears, then they would grow the horns. That was kind of the way that it was going. They wouldn't do the teeth first. So they're kind of cheating with a surprise last shot there. But he turns around, he bares the buck teeth, and then you have the Vincent Price laugh from Thriller. So it's supposed to be like a Thriller reference. And okay, so one, weird, because this movie hasn't really been a comedy up until that point, but it literally just like is the Vincent Price laugh. They didn't even have someone do an imitation of it. As far as I can tell, like it's the recording. They just ripped it from. Yeah. They just ripped it directly from the original record.
Yeah, and then they got sued. That's why this movie's not in massive distribution anymore. How the hell you got your hands on it, I don't know. But that's why it's not in distribution no more.
That's not something I'm willing to say on air.
Good call.
Good call. God damn it.
I'm not saying someone had to die. But
I feel like I
stop right there. Stop right there.
And the police are already at his door.
You know what the worst part about it is? I'm sitting there looking at this and I'm like, damn, Bill Moseley, you were doing also Rob Zombie movies like 6-7 years ago. What the hell are you doing here? You're at least doing movies with Kane Hodder once in a blue. What are you doing here? Like, what is anybody doing here? Then I looked up a little bit of the production history of this movie. It makes it more confusing. Because Bruce Campbell passed. Apparently, Bruce Campbell was asked to be Sheriff Landis, and he passed. Anders Hove of Bloodstorm fame was asked to be also the deputy. He passed. Robert Englund apparently got called. They had the nerve to call Robert Englund. And Robert Englund told them to go fuck themselves, and he said, don't call me again. And fun fact, since this is like some of it looks weird, I think the Chiodo brothers were the ones who did the special effects for the rabbits on this one. Those are the puppeteers for like the Ninja Turtles and the Critters movies. I think they did like one animation, so they weren't going to get paid, and then they bailed and they just used their stuff and credited them anyway.
Yeah.
Shameless. Real shameless.
I don't... What possesses somebody to call all these people to make this movie? Delusion?
You know, is it delusion? Is it hubris? Is it raw testicular fortitude? I don't know.
All of the above, including raw testicular fortitude? Well, I don't think I have raw enough to do that. That's $250,000 they just pissed away. They could have invested into some kind of savings account and lived off of the interest for a while.
So, how much did this movie gross?
I
didn't even really have a theatrical release.
No, it didn't. It was on Tubi for a hot second. It was on Prime for a hot second. Then it got pulled. You can't find it anywhere now. It's gone. They're suing over it.
God, just no, without a trace.
As it should have been until we unearthed this piece of crap.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I wonder how many views it needs in order to hit the world's Guinness record of worst horror adaptation of all time.
I'll tell you what the worst horror adaptation of all time was. House of the Dead, starring by Uwe Boll. That, gentlemen, was a hot piece of shit. I don't recommend anybody ever unearth or find.
What was it based on?
The video game House of the Dead from back in the day. If you ever went to the arcade back in the day, there's always this little cabinet that had the shooters, that had the two guns, and you would fight the zombies. That's what it was inspired by. They said, hey, Resident Evil's making a lot of money with, what's his name, and his no good tramp of a wife who cheated on Luc Besson to make these movies. So why don't we go ahead and do this? Yeah.
I'm not saying it's defamation, but...
Actually, that is more or less what really did happen. Mila Jovovich was with Luc Besson, and then, like, he wasn't doing that many movies in 2000 to 2001. He had kind of a career lull. So then she went off and did Resident Evil 1 with Paul W.S. Anderson. Then she married him and left Luc Besson. So then she left Luc Besson for this guy. About 6, 7 years later, Luc Besson does one movie called Wasabi, shows he still got it, and then he gets funding for another movie which goes viral with the trailer. Liam Neeson picks up that phone in 2008 and goes, if you let my daughter go right now, that'll be the end of it. I have a set of skill that makes me a nightmare for people like you. And then that went viral. And he's a somebody again. Everybody loves those Taken movies until they ran him into the ground. And she did 10 horrible Resident Evil movies and damaged that franchise beyond all repair. So, what did we learn? She sucks. That's it. But anyways, and I honestly thought the cool sequence with the rabbit in the beginning, I'm like, oh, cool. They're going to at least steal from Resident Evil. It's not the worst place you could steal from. Fine. They stole from Aliens. So why don't we just go ahead and watch them steal from that? It'll be fine. A lot of movies steal from Aliens and Resident Evil. And they're good movies. The Horde was good. Doom. I like Doom with The Rock. It's the only movie The Rock has ever been a bad guy in. I think Michael Berryman was like really tapping into his Rock Doom energy in this movie when he's like, we kill them all. And I'm like, that's right, Michael Berryman. You're the only thing I like in this goddamn movie.
It's a nice thing for Michael Berryman because he's often the bad guy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he stars in horror movies because of his appearance. But to see them kind of flip that, like if I had to say that there's one virtue in this movie, it's that it's casting Michael Berryman within his genre but against his type.
Mm-hmm. He was trying, and unfortunately, he was trying in this movie of all things.
In the hands of a better director, it would have been it would have been a virtue. But here, it's more a glimmer of equality in a horrendous, offensive, brutally low quality cinematic catastrophe.
Yeah. I feel bad for that kid. He's never going to get work again. He just started, too. He just started. That kid should go sue his agent. That's all I'm going to say. He just started. What was that kid's goddamn name again? Archie Barnes. Just got started with the Batman. Good starting point. The Batman, potentially the next Robin. Does this piece of crap. Why?
Yes.
Why would you do this to yourself? I don't know.
He was like, rabbits aren't that different from bats. How different could it be from doing the Batman?
Very different, son.
His mistake was rabbits are actually quite different from bats, but that's that. It's we can talk about that if we want, but I won't put you through that. It's okay.
Not yet, anyway. But it's coming.
I just... with my meditation balls again.
You need like a third one.
I'm doing it wrong. They're not supposed to be clacking against one another. That's how pissed off I am. I'm working on my own scripts and stuff, and then I look at this stuff and I'm like, yo, I better not get rejected. Bullshit. Better not.
Yeah, it does. It does kind of infuriate you when you know that you do something better than people that are getting more work than you do.
Mm-hmm.
It's depends on the skill about that.
Though, don't let resentment build up. Resentment is a very toxic emotion.
However,
it's a mix of envy and wrath, and those are two deadly sins.
Yeah, that's how angry I am. 1 second. Listen to the bells.
This is the first episode where we literally need a meditation break.
Yeah. I have my other stress thing going. Okay.
Jesus. The movie really ruined you.
Yeah, it did. Because I survived Flesh Eater. And I had to go watch this crap. I'm like,
You've watched Flesh Eater more than once.
Yes, I have. I was working on a project for Flesh Eater. And this is just awful.
We're still calling it a wellness check on you, by the way, for that.
You just completed it right now. I'm here virtually. I'm not AI.
Yeah.
I wish I could be AI like Bill Clinton in 10-2, which is pretty cool, but I'm not. So we have to cut it a little short today. Let me see how long we've been going. We've been at it for 41 minutes. So
I don't know how much more we can actually say about this movie, but yeah, it's the one thing that do you guys think we have much more to say?
No.
Aside from the fact that this budget was what, $250K?
Yeah.
I don't know how that happened. Where was the budget?
This is money laundering fucking money. That's where that came from. That's how Michael Franchisi was making movies in the 80s. And that's when they threatened Steven Seagal. That's a true story. Michael Franchisi was making movies in the 80s, and apparently Steven Seagal was going around gambling with a bunch of New York mobsters. And then in one of those, he thought that they were all cool, and they showed up at like the New York docks or whatever he was filming. And then they threatened him that if he didn't pay the $200K like right then and there, they're going to kick his ass and kill him. So, Mr. Steven Seagal, now living in Russia, was a gambling degenerate back in the 80s with some mobsters. A story I've heard a few times. So, yes. That's probably where the money came from. Who knows if they weren't going to break fucking this guy's thumbs. They just needed to launder the money.
Good times.
Good times. You can't
even do that anymore. It stinks.
And that's a good thing. Laundering money. Make horrible movies like this.
A lot of money sunk into the toilet. Especially not just because the movie's bad, but because the movie is virtually unavailable, and I had to get it through nefarious means that may or may not have involved.
Cut it. It's too much already.
But so, for what that means is that, none of you could actually prove that this movie exists. You might even say that you're just taking our word for it, that this movie actually exists.
There's a poster, and that's all you know. Like Ed Norton's Catch Her in the Eye. Believe it or not. It's a movie that was on IMDb, and nobody can prove it exists or doesn't exist. I wish I was making that up, but I'm not.
Is that the only thing that well, you might not be making that up, but are you making something else up?
I am a writer, and I make things up on a daily basis, but I didn't make this next statement up. Who's going to go ahead and talk about that one?
Not me.
No, you?
All right, everybody. I guess they're giving me the dirty work of this one. April Fools! That movie was not fucking real.
Not a real movie, everybody.
There is no such thing as Amityville killer rabbits. If you believed us at any step of the way, I have to thank Mr. O'Connell and Mr. Benson for my acting lessons when I was in high school. And oddly enough, Kevin Spacey, who gave me real acting advice, and then all that stuff happened.
We were talking about that. Yeah, we don't talk about that.
I'm actually not kidding. He gave me acting advice in high school, and then now I can't really share it with pride, even though it was some of the best life advice I'd ever gotten in my life. And it was from Kevin Spacey.
Like people can have many facets, and like there's nothing about being a good actor that suggests that you're a good person, right?
I know.
You don't need to be a good person to be a good actor. Like, so yeah, you can share the advice. That's fine.
So I was doing a rehearsal in high school, and we went to go see one of his plays, Moon for the Misbegotten, when I was in Dracula in high school. And then we had like a thing where we were able to meet Kevin Spacey for a couple of we got one lesson session with Kevin Spacey, an acting lesson. And when I was doing a screen read with one of my partners at the time, I kept bobbing like this as I was doing the lines. And he cut me midway through, and he looks at me and he goes, "You want to express yourself, but you're not sure if you can." How do you know? Okay. So he goes, "We're going to start over again. And whatever it is that you're thinking about doing, not just in this scene, but in life, whatever you're thinking about doing, just go for it and see what happens." Now, it's very ominous when I think about that advice.
He went for it, didn't he?
No, he did.
Oh my god! No,
I'm sorry.
So I turned around. And I'm like, okay, we ran the scene again, and I stopped bobbling. I was being a little more expressive, more movement with my arms, and like making fun and making jests with the girl I was acting across. She's supposed to be my sister, and I'm mocking her or whatever. So as I'm mocking her, and she's actually looks like she's about to start laughing at the way I'm moving my body around, she hits me with the script, and I run off. I run off the thing, and they're like, "See, better. That's how you're supposed to do it. Anytime you're doing anything, just lean into it." So that's why right now, as I'm doing this, I'm like, all right, angry people always fidget. Because I fidget when I'm pissed off. I have a bunch of fidget things in my desk at all given times because I'm writing again. So I stop and I think. And I use these things. That's how I got to 1,000,000 points in Tetris one time also, believe it or not.
Yeah, that's a good psychology thing.
Yep. So after I'm listening to this, because it does piss me off that movies like Snakes Out of Compton got made. That's an actual fucking movie. Gary Busey was in The Ginger Dead Man. Eric Roberts did some movie where he was cursed to be a dog. That looks like it was shot on a home camera.
That reminds me of, okay, I feel like I'm the only person, I feel like this might be a false memory. Do you remember on Nickelodeon the show 100 Deeds for Eddie McDowd?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, good. Good. I thought I was going nuts. Because nobody else seems to remember that show. It was this live-action show where...
It's the one where he's a dog, right?
This bully is condemned to be a dog and to be under the care of the kid that he was bullying, like his main target. And he has to do 100 good deeds in order to be turned back into a human being.
Yep, I remember the plot. I saw one episode one time, and then I mentally erased it from my head. And then I'm like, it lasted 3 seasons when I looked it up later on. I'm like, this lasted 3 seasons. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it was...
Seth Green was in this?
They didn't make it to 100 episodes, as far as I know. But
the brother from the Wonder Years was in this crap too. We're not making this up, folks. We did make up zombie rabbits, but we're not making this up. Oh boy! But yes, we had fun.
After 40 episodes, leaving 60 deeds undone. Sad.
No, it's like My Name is Earl. He never finished the list. It got canceled before that could be a thing.
Yeah, that was very ambitious of them. Like 100 deeds for Eddie McDowd. That's at least 4 seasons. Yeah.
Brenda Song was in this shit? No way.
Another questionable decision on her part.
She doesn't make that many questionable decisions. Hollywood is more so questionable because they don't give her work. Because she's a dark-skinned Asian woman. That actually is something that happened. She went up for Crazy Rich Asians and they told her no.
We don't learn. We don't learn.
And then they went with the lady that is notoriously mean. Oh yeah, there she is. Little Brenda Song. And there is Danny Tamborelli, who at that era of Nickelodeon, I started to hate him because he was in every goddamn Nickelodeon show at that time.
He was even on like the sliming shows.
Yep. With all those shows at that time. Pete and Pete got canceled, but he's like, God damn it, I'm not leaving this alone. And then never saw him again either. He turned up.
He's on Instagram. I follow him on Instagram.
The last thing I saw him in, he had a small reunion with the other guy, Will Muscardi or whatever the heck his name is. The other Pete. They did the music video for this band. I forgot the name of the band, but the song is "Water Underground," where they reprise their roles as Pete and Pete, and they're driving through Wellsville throughout the whole music video.
That's neat.
That was neat. Yeah. That was about it. But just to let you guys know, we did have a lot of fun coming up with this concept. Our buddy here came up with the main plot point, and we're like, yeah, no, you don't need a plot, too much of a plot for this. And then the main goal was making it seem like something that would have been on, like, if you're browsing through Tubi, you know, The Killing Tree, which are out there, or Krampus, The Return, which are these kinds of terrible movies that keep getting made, or Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. They're out there. Or the Killer Popeye movie. Yeah.
No, it was fun. It was fun to kind of like source our knowledge of the corny B horror movie tropes, and even use some real actors, and Yep. This was fun.
Yes, happy belated April Fools, people.
Who knows? Maybe someone will approach us with a deal to actually make it.
God willing. I will take $300 for this. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm not even asking for a couple thousand. Give me a couple $100.
Let's end on that hopeful note.
Happy Easter, everybody. Happy April
Easter.
Fool's Day. It was a couple days late, but it's April Fool's, so all month round.
Yeah, and I think that this could be an annual thing.
Well, not now. Not anymore. But we'll see.
4 strikes, Red. 4 strikes.
Well, no, like it's.
Next year we'll actually watch April Fool's Day.
People are going to expect it. Then it will be like.
Yeah, it's like the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror. I get it. Let's see. Yeah. It's our Treehouse of Horror.
Yeah, it's our Treehouse of because every episode of us is a Treehouse of Horror.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, happy birthday, H Center.
Happy birthday, H Center.
Yes. Hey, H Center, happy birthday.
Yes, thank you for tuning in through most of our crap and being our number one supporter. And F this movie. Actually, no. That's our creation. It's our baby. Fuck Hulk Hogan. I should have lied and said that he was in this movie because he could have still been alive when this thing was being shot. He was the first one to get killed by the corona fucking rabbits. But yes, on that note, good folks, I am Pumpkin Jack and April Fools. Accompanied by 2 co-hosts here.
Whatever noise rabbits make.
It's a noise rabbits make.
Sounds good. What's up, Doc?
And Dappy Bolt.
You had
I just gave up there. I just gave up there.
Because I never forget that long lost Who Framed Roger Rabbit and Daffy Duck clip. You can go ahead and look that up. I'm not going to bring that up here. I'll leave you all alone. Good night, everybody. And now for Solo